swear we got two, so we didn't approve one of the.
I thought they looked good.
We approved the June meeting twice.
Okay, okay. No problem, no problem. That was around. Okay, good evening, everyone. We'd like to call to order the Code Ordinance Enforcement Board meeting for August the 27th, 2024. At this time, we'd like to ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Rodney Davis,
Here.
James Bruce,
Here.
Tyler Young, Tony Meacham,
Here.
David Howell,
Here.
Calvin Brooks,
Here.
Connie McGahee. Here. And just so everyone's aware, Miss Wimberly had to resign because she moved out of the city.
Okay. All right, we have a quorum. At this time, would everyone please stand with me as we say the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next on our agenda is approval of minutes. We have a couple of minutes we need to approve. I think we mistakenly approved June's minutes twice, so we're going to entertain a motion to approve agenda item number 4, the July minutes, and then we'll do August. So,
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the minutes for item number 4, July the 9th.
okay, it's been moved and probably second. Any questions on the motion? All in favor, let me know by a sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, now we'll entertain a motion to approve the August 13th minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the August 13th minutes.
Okay, it's been moved and properly second. Any questions on the motion? All in favor, let me know by a sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Mr. Chairman, I just noticed after we unanimously approved July 7th, the meeting was actually the 9th, Tuesday the 9th. It's correct in the agenda, but just a typo on the minutes.
The meeting was actually on July 7th.
It was on the 9th.
It was on the 9th.
9th is correct. Sorry.
No problem. Okay, item 6 is reports from staff. Any? None? Okay. All right, item 7, we have some public hearings. We have 2 cases on our agenda. First one is case CE BPM 24-06-008. Joel Manning. No, Mr. Manning here? Okay. All right, Mr. DeArmond, if you come forward. So you, well, I'll tell you what, just have a seat. I'm going to first go over the procedures we're going to follow, and then we'll have you come forward. Okay, so we need to go over the procedures we're going to follow this evening, so bear with me as I go over those procedures. Okay. Once again, good evening, everyone. My name is Rodney Davis. I am the chairman of the City of Hopkinsville Code Ordinance Enforcement Board. The purpose of this board is to protect, promote, and improve the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens residing within the City of Hopkinsville. If a board member perceives a potential conflict with hearing a case, he or she shall recuse themselves from the case and will not discuss their disposition. When your name is called, please come forward, speak loudly and clearly, because we are required to record all proceedings from these hearings. You are here tonight because you received the citation and chose to appear before the board instead of paying the fine imposed on the citation. You have the right to confront and cross-examine any witnesses that might appear here against you. You have the right to call your own witnesses to testify on your behalf and to introduce any physical evidence you feel pertinent to this case. You have the right to have an attorney. If you wish to hire one to represent you, let me know and I will request the board postpone your case to enable you to do so. I have the right as chairman of the board to limit the amount of testimony which is presented. That shall be done when I determine that certain testimony is irrelevant or repetitive. This is not the same as the court of law, and legal rules of evidence do not have to be followed. This is similar to an administrative hearing, and the requirements for the introduction of evidence are not as stringent as in the court of law, but they are nonetheless just as important to ensure a just decision. You shall be afforded all rights which are of fundamental importance to comply with due process standards of fairness and justice. The burden of establishing the violation occurred rests with the city. If the city cannot prove a violation took place, no fine or remedial measures may be imposed. After all the evidence and testimony have been introduced and the hearing has been closed, the board will make a decision. The board will decide whether or not a violation of a local ordinance has been committed. If the board determines no violation was committed, then this board will enter an order dismissing the citation. If the board determines that a violation did take place, the board will enter an order upholding the citation and will order you to pay a fine in an amount up to the maximum authorized by ordinance and may order you to remedy the violation within a specified period of time. In cases involving unsafe structures, the board, as part of its decision and written order, may additionally make provisions for the offender to cure the violation within a period of time not to exceed 90 days, pursuant to HCO 33.188F. Except in cases of default, any final order issued by the board may be appealed to the Christian District Court. The appeal must be filed no later than 30 days from the date the board issues its final order. The case in front of the district court will be limited to a review of the record created before this board. If there are any questions at this time, please feel free to ask. Okay, so we're going to move to the first case. Okay, so Mr. Diamond, if you step forward to the podium, first want to swear you in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, say I do.
I do.
Okay, sir, can you please state your full name, your employer, and position for the record?
Mark DeArmond, Code Enforcement Officer for the Hopkinsville Fire Department.
Okay, Mr. DeArmond, can you tell us about the first case on our agenda here?
Yes, sir. On June the 19th, we got a complaint regarding a structure on 1504 Tate Street. On June 22nd, this is a photograph of the home off of the Google map system. PVA records show that this property is owned by Jewel Manning, residing at 929 East First Street here in Hopkinsville. So on the 19th, beginning of the inspection, looking at the front, there was the front window broken on the right front. The front door was locked. But looking into the window the window pane that was missing, that was a view inside the front room. Missing floor. A notice of violation was issued on that date after completing the inspection based on the criteria of an unsafe structure. It met the criteria, and a notice of violation was posted on June 20th. There was no comment from a response from the notice of violation. Then the citation was issued on July 26th. The legal notice was filed with the paper, as noticed here in the slides, as well as the certified mail sent, and both letters returned. June 16th was the inspection of 1504 Tate. The NOV was sent June the 20th. Citation was issued on July 26th. And as of today, there's been no communication from the property owner.
per the ordinance, is taken from Chapter 160 Property Maintenance Code. The exterior walls are showing signs of water damage. The one partially there in the front from the roof and the ceiling I'll show you here shortly, as well as some evidence on the side of the home where decay is showing up. This is the ceiling of the front porch underneath the sagging roof. This line is indicating the extent of the damage to the roof. Front window, as I mentioned earlier, was gone. That pane was gone, allowed for photographs. The back door was locked. There's a window on the opposite side of the house that was open that allowed for the photograph on the bottom left is the floor of that room. The photograph in the center we've already talked about in the front room, and the ceiling is in the front room of that same window that was open. This is a ceiling in the back room. Again, opportunities to see inside came from two windows. Very little electrical to see other than the bare wires coming out of the ceiling in both of the rooms. And then the electric meter hid behind the grown-up saplings on the side of the yard. Gas meter had been gone, and again, the gas has been off for some 6 years. Water's been off for 6 years. There were no way of seeing any plumbing fixtures or whether they're operable or not. There's no photos to show. So if we go through the exterior portion of the structure, it met 5 out of 7, or 71%. The foundation, way the siding was, pretty well masked the foundation. So we're giving them credit for the foundation. Didn't see any sagging of the walls. And then the yard up until now has been mowed and maintained. There was no trash or garbage debris in or around the yard. Inside the structure, you see the interior portion all met the unsafe criteria with a lot of water damage. For the utilities, the 3 items in yellow, not inspected because it was invisible through the 2 windows. Absent that, if we could have seen them and we make the assumption that in 6 years they're not working, this structure met 10 out of 10 of for the interior, or 100% of the interior. If we give them credit or make the assumption and not hold that in the math, take those 3 out, the interior portion scores 70%, or 7 out of 10. There was no accessory structures. So again, remembering the 3, it met 15 out of 17 if we counted them at 88%, or if we give them credit or on the assumption that the plumbing and our circuit breaker box were there and working, all they needed to be hooked up, it still meets 71% as unsafe. We're still not able to determine the previous case history. There is, however, taxes and liens totaling some $2,700 as of today. Photograph of today is no change other than the grass has not been maintained in a bit.
Okay, all right, thank you, sir. All right, since Mr. Manning is not here, we are going to close the hearing on this. Okay, well, first any board members have any questions for Mr. Dion?
Yes, I do. The meter was still at the house,
Correct.
but was there a line going from the house out to the street to the pole?
It had already been disconnected.
So it was
They
getting,
just not pull the meter. The HES can now disconnect the service from the office, via computer, just
Okay.
pull the terminals. They don't have to pull the meter like we're accustomed to pull it.
okay,
But when they do and one's been off like that, they disconnect the service. They literally separate the wires
so that.
from the
there's no
weatherhead to the pole.
So there's no wires going in from the street into
No.
into the house?
No, sir.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions?
Yes. Have you been in contact with the homeowner at all?
No word at all from them. No conversation, no communication at all.
Joel has been here several.
Did you say that the certified mail was sent twice and returned both times?
That's right.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, all right. We're going to close the hearing on this case so the board can first make a decision on whether their violation existed and then on the penalty. But the floor is open for discussion, or we'll entertain a motion in regards to whether a violation existed.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that the property is in violation.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and properly second. Any questions on the motion? All in favor, let it know by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Now we'll determine the penalty for this case, and it's $350. Okay, $350 minimum to $700 maximum, plus there's a $200 administrative fee. So the floor is open for discussion or entertain motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion and go ahead and impose a fine of $350 plus a $200 administration fee.
Is the city also seeking to have the property leveled?
Right. Right, so you would add it to the city's listed demo and put a lien against the property for the cost of abatement.
In addition to fine?
Yeah. Does that
In
need,
addition to the fine, go ahead and have the property demoed and,
what was the lien?
go ahead and impose a lien on the property also to cover the dumping fees.
I'll second.
Okay, all right, okay, so everybody's okay with the change to that motion? Any questions? Any other questions? Okay, all in favor, let it be known by the sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. All right. Moving on to the next case, Mr. DeArmond, this is you also. Case number CE BPM -24-08-006. Is the Jamie L. Fish present?
I am.
Okay, you are present? Okay. All right, so we're gonna let Mr. DeArmond give, okay, then we'll have you come forward. Okay.
The property at 1198 Broad Street came to our attention through city personnel and then through some neighbors, asked us to take a look at the property for the conditions that they observed on the outside. Google Street View in July 2023 shows the structure looking like so. Broad Street is off of really at the foot of Bethel Street Hill. So the front door was locked. Started around to the right side. There was a trash and debris and junk in the back. Good to the back of the house, there is an opening but no door. The left photo is parts of the backyard with trash and debris. The next photo where the tires are is inside the back door, inside the home. As I made my way through the house, I find debris, trash, junk in the terms of the ordinance phrase, and debris all through the house, including a mattress and another room that did not show the photo of a couch. The concern of the neighbor was that there are extensive amount of traffic, foot traffic into the back door, in and out at different times of the day and night. We do not know what the activity was, but it was concerning to the neighbors, and so that was a reason for the visit. So following the visit, a citation was issued for an unsafe structure since it met the criteria of unsafe structure. It was posted in the paper for this hearing, and here's a copy of the receipt where we sent the citation to the owner with a residence in Clarksville, Tennessee. The inspection occurred, the claim and the inspection occurred on August the 14th. And when inspected it that day, a citation was issued on the 15th, and it went straight to a citation based upon the conditions of the structure inside the home and outside the property and with the reported of activity in and out at all hours of the night. It truly was a concern with the neighbors down the street and playing in that area based upon the information from the neighbors that met me at the site when I pulled up. So again, inspection on the 14th, August 14th, cited, issued on the 15th, and as of today, there's been no communication. The water has been off for 3 years. Electricity has been off this year, actually was cut off in July. The ATS did go by today, scheduled today, go by and make the disconnect from the weatherhead. Gas has been off for some 5 years.
Would you say that again about what utility went by today?
When I called ATS to look for the last time they had power, they said it was cut off inside their office July this year, a couple months ago.
So they went by today to physically disconnect from the
That's
weatherhead? Okay, I want to make sure I understood you.
Chapter 163 has the checklist that we follow. The foundation is showing cracks both in the brick, in the mortar joint, and in some cases through the brick, as shown on the right. The exterior walls, there's vinyl siding that's either been being put on and is halted or being stolen or taken off, but anyway, it's exposing the wood behind it. The front porch, the lower photograph shows the decay in the rod in some of the floor decking. As I went to the front door, I felt the soft boards and the sponginess in those floors. And if you look underneath the columns, there is some decay to the structure there. Photo on the left shows the two different roof lines. Photo on the right shows the roof line in the back of the house has got some sagging on the right side. Chimney is showing somewhere where the mortar joints are eroding and decaying. The back door is just an opening, no door. The window's out on that side. Access was easy through that door. Trash and garbage and debris in the behind the house, in the accessory structure to the right, and on the left side of the house that has a small section between the fence and the house has got additional garbage and debris. Interior walls are showing damage both around the electrical outlet and on the wall panels. The floors where there were bare floors were spongy at best. There's the debris and the trash in the floor made it almost impossible to fully inspect all of the areas with all the amount of debris and trash inside. Ceiling is showing damage as the bottom right side shows. There is an oversized electrical box on the left with its panel off. There's a circuit breaker box in the back right corner of the structure that was not accessible to walk through without going through all of the debris in the floor. Gas meter is there in this road, been cut off for 5 years. Water's been off for 3. Those conditions of the kitchen and the bath area. The exterior of the building met 8 of the criteria. Interior and plumbing, interior and the utilities were 10 out of 10 of the applicable criteria, including the exterior structure. The conditions that's noted in red under the overall conditions, based upon the information from the neighbors, conditions that I saw, there is a true health and safety risk of this property to the neighbors. This scored 18 out of 18 overall for 100%. Unknown previous cases, taxes are current, unable to confirm any liens, if any. As of today, the structure is still the same.
Okay. So, Mr. Dillman, I think earlier when you were showing us pictures, did I see a vehicle that was,
You did?
is that on the property, and is that Do you know, do you
I
determine
did
who
not
the
run the,
owner?
run the license. It was expired 2021.
And you weren't able to determine who the owner was?
I did not, I pulled the VIN and have not run the plate
Okay,
to see who the owner is.
okay.
But it is a code issue that will be handled, will be addressed.
So you don't know if it's abandoned or not?
Only in terms that the two front tires are flat.
Oh, okay.
And again, the plate had expired in 2021.
Okay, any other questions for Mr. DeArmond from board members?
And the city is seeking to have the house demolished?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, thank you, sir. Okay, ma'am, you can come on up now. Okay, before you start, let me swear you in. Could you please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, say I do.
I do.
Okay, can you please state your full name and address for the record?
Jamie Lynn Novakowski, it's 5-5, it's
Okay, can you
Slower?
turn, I can't hear you, yeah.
Jamie Lynn Novakowski, 554 Winding Bluff Way, Clarksville, Tennessee, 37040.
Okay, now you said your last name is,
No, do you want me to spell it? Novakowski?
okay. Could you-
It was Fish.
Okay, can you spell it?
Novakowski.
Okay, all right. I'll try not to destroy your name.
That's okay.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Can you tell us about this property of yours?
Yes, so I purchased it 3 years ago, but I want to say I literally just found out about this a few hours ago. I had no idea this was going on. We've had tenants in there for the last 3 years. That when we purchased the property, it was from another investor, and the tenant had been a long-term tenant for 5+ years. She had lived there. I'm not sure, I can't explain about the water being off, but they literally just paid rent like 10 days ago. So I can't make it up. I have records of it. I haven't spoken to her. I didn't know she moved out. This is all just being found out like a few hours ago. Just saying.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we just went to the house and saw like the disrepair. We had absolutely no idea this was going on. I mean, they've been current paying rent. The only time that we haven't gotten or talked to them is if they didn't pay or were late or something like that. But I mean, they just paid 10 days ago.
Wow.
So I honestly, I have no explanation. We talked to the neighbor and he told us that people were going in there. They've stripped it. There's no, fridge, washer, dryer, nothing. The house is completely stripped, but there was tenants in there for the past 3 years that we've had it. As I knew that she was there with her 4 kids. We had no idea.
So you live in Clarksville, you said?
do.
And so I take it since they were just good paying tenants, you didn't have any
we
reason to come and,
Exactly. I mean, if they would have reached out and said there was an issue with something, we would have been on top of it. I mean, but there was nothing, nothing. She never told me she was leaving. I didn't even know until the boyfriend that pays the rent called me and said that was on the paper or on the door today. So that was when I found out.
okay. Okay, so now that you are aware
Mhm.
of the condition of this property.
Yes.
And what the city is requesting, that is a health and safety risk for our city
Right.
and thinks it needs to be taken down. What are your feelings on that? Or what would you like done? Or do you have any plans that you might want to?
Well, we had talked about doing this. I mean, after we went into it, I don't see how we can possibly do anything to rectify it at this point. I don't know. We would definitely start that process and we can talk to whoever we need to about, or we could have somebody else do it. But no, we completely understand and agree. This was not what it was a few years ago. I can't explain the water part because she's been in it. But no, I'm in agreement with, whatever we need to do.
Okay. So you understand there is well, first of all, the board may find this property in violation, most likely.
Right.
And there's a fine associated with it, but there's also costs associated with the demolition. Now,
Right.
the city can and will do that, and then that demolition cost will be assessed to you.
Right.
The other option is that you, as the property owner, can find a contractor or someone to do this work, maybe at a lower cost,
Right.
whatnot like that. But we do have time, what do you call it, restrictions or
Limitation.
time restrictions on, if you want to go that route,
I
you
understand.
can't take like a year from now and
Right.
take it down, okay?
Right.
So do you have any thoughts on
I mean,
that?
again, this is all extremely new right now, so I'm still kind of processing everything. We went from having a tenant a few hours ago to like saying the house has to be demolished, so it's a big thing. But no, we can reach out, and I was going to contact them and see what their costs are, and then just comparatively to see, what an outside company would cost. We just basically wanted to make sure that we did what we needed to do now, so that we're not going to be in bad standing. Make
Okay.
sure it's
Yes.
what we need to do right now.
Mr. Chairman, if I may,
Yes.
there's also an issue, I'm sure, about the public safety, about being able to enter the premises.
Right.
So I would recommend that you talk with code enforcement to see if you all can work together to get that resolved.
Okay.
And I'm sure they'll work with you on that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So, yeah, you can work with Mr. DeArmond, and I'm sure he'll be glad to work with you on, maybe at least getting that property secured so there's not people going in and out and that sort of thing. And then on the way ahead as far as taking the building down.
Okay.
So are there any other questions for Ms. Novoskoski from board members?
Novikowski. Yeah, I'd like to clarify. So if the board finds it in violation and demolition is the route, is it your preference? You'd like to have a chance to self-perform that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
In your mind, what is, as Mr. Chairman said, we're limited on the amount of time that we can give
Right.
you to do that. What do you think is a fair amount of time for you to be able to make some contacts and try to find somebody to get that work done?
My husband really handed it.
Do you have, sir, if you'd like him to come and speak, he can.
Okay.
Let me swear you in and.
Okay, yes.
Okay, could you raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth? If so, say I do.
I do.
Okay, can you tell us your full name and address for the record?
Laurenstein Novikowski Jr., 554 Winding Bluff Way, Clarksville, Tennessee, 37040.
Okay, all right, Sarah, can you tell us, what do you have to share?
So the only problem I would have is maybe after harvest season, because the person I have in mind that would take it down is a farmer in town. And as we know, we just started shelling corn today in the last couple of weeks. So if maybe 90 days, I could secure the property by the end of the week, board it up, and police call around the outside of it.
90 days is the maximum time
Okay.
that we can allow.
Is that for it to be completed or like to? so
To-
it can
to be
have-
completed.
That's-
To be completed.
That's for the work to be completed.
I'm thinking we could issue it as to give them the 90 days to self-perform the demo. And failing that, at the end of that 90 days, it defaults and the city would take it.
I think that would be appropriate. And then at that point, there can still be communication between code enforcement and the owner. But the 90 days, and they'll work with you. The city doesn't want to demo any more properties, so I'm sure they'll work with you on your timeline. But this board only has 90-day period that it can allow by ordinance.
And I hope to get it done immediately. I'm not going to sit on my hands and do this. It's a lot. So.
Yeah,
Right.
I understand.
And as far as the vehicle, I'm assuming it was hers as well, the tenant. So I mean, I do have her name and phone number, but I didn't even know, like, we didn't know that was there until we pulled up
Let's put up
today.
in.
Yeah.
I guess,
Yeah, we saw the
Um,
vehicle there.
Move it out.
Well, actually, the vehicle is not part of this case.
Okay.
It's really a separate, we
Okay.
do handle abandoned vehicles, but that's not part of this case now. I don't know, maybe Mr. DeArmond or one of the other code officers can address this, but there will most likely be a citation issued to the vehicle owner.
Okay.
I think not the property owner.
I would recommend you just talk to the code enforcement officer and share that information, and then the city will do what it can to get that vehicle removed.
Thank you.
Okay?
Just one detail for you on the demo, it includes foundations. That's something you probably want to know.
Yes.
And accessory buildings.
Okay. What about the sidewalk in front of the property?
No, not,
Okay, so the actual sidewalk, just the block foundation? from
Just-
front porch in? I'll talk to Mr.
Yeah.
I don't want-
Yeah, talk with,
Mr. DeArmond.
Point of clarification, there is an accessory structure associated with it. There may be more with the overgrowth of the weeds and things behind it. It's a thick, so that would have to be looked at. In terms of demolition, foundation, the sidewalk from the street sidewalk to the house is part of that.
Okay.
So when it's done, it's literally just a topsoil, seed and or grass seed and straw.
Okay.
but not the sidewalk on the right of way, right?
Not the right-of-way
Right.
sidewalk,
No,
not
no,
the,
I just didn't know about the walk.
Yes.
Right.
yes, yes.
One other point, if I may, I'm good with the 90 days and we're gladly to work with them, with the exception of the garbage and the debris is truly a health hazard. I cannot overstate that, and I do that with respect to the property owners. But to the right side, the back side, and the left side, the bugs and the insects and the odor was unbearable. And
Okay.
if they're gonna board it up and buy some time to take down the structure,
The debris
believe- I
outside the
believe that-
house needs to be addressed also.
that the garbage and the
The
things
garbage, and-
outside
yeah,
needs to go. More sooner rather than later.
okay, okay. And so you'll work with them on that, make sure they're clear on those steps. Okay, if nothing further, y'all have anything more to add?
No, sir.
Okay.
So just to clarify, 90 days failure to default reverts back to the county, city. They will take appropriate action on the thing.
Yes,
Right.
yes, but they'll work with you though.
Yes. It won't be
Okay.
an issue.
All right, so,
Wait, just a second. We got to vote.
Oh, I'm sorry.
what's that?
We got to vote.
Oh, no, we're gonna close the
Close the
case
case
first.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, y'all can have a seat.
Okay.
We're gonna close the case and deliberate. You can hear us talk in open session, and we're gonna vote on the violation and the penalty and all that type of thing, so you can hear all that. And then there are some papers that we'll need you to sign before you leave. Okay. All right. Okay, so we're closing the hearing on this case, so the board can deliberate in open session. So the board needs to determine whether or not a violation existed on this property. And so floor is open for discussion, or we'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the city has met the burden of proof that there is a violation of unsafe structure on this property.
That's second.
Okay, it's been moved and properly second. Any questions on the motion? All in favor, let me know by the sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Now we need to determine the penalty for this case by a motion and second and a vote. The fine for this violation ranges from $350 minimum to $700 maximum, plus there's a $200 administrative fee.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we assess the $350 fine, $200 administration fee, require the property owner to complete demolition of the structure and any accessory structures, and to give them 90 days to do that, and that they stipulate that they immediately remove the debris and trash surrounding the home
And secure the building.
and secure the structure.
Okay, is there a second? Okay, it's been moved and properly second. Any questions on the motion? All in favor, let me know by the sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, we have papers you to sign. Y'all just hold on for just a second. Okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on with our agenda, though. Which you don't have much more. Unfinished business other than hearings, there's none. New business other than hearings, there's none. Are there any announcements from board members or the staff? Okay, there being none, we will stand adjourned.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, everyone.